welcome back to a movie watching podcast. This is Cody Michael. I'm joined as always by Seth Ott and Jared Buckendahl. Always on theme. These two gentlemen know that we are covering a brand new movie tonight. Now, Seth, you were our champion, actually back-to-back champion with both Michael and Howard the Duck from last week. And so you've chosen 80s horror. We made the decision to expand it into the 90s as well, but we have chosen an 80s horror movie that I'm very excited to talk about. Before we get into it, let's talk about some of the movies that did not make the cut. Some of which that we've seen are a lot of the classics. If people don't know, the 80s is the best time for horror. You have Nightmare on Elm Street from 84, Little Shop of Horrors comes out in 86, Reanimator, which is a classic, is 1985. Poltergeist, 1982. Gremlins in 84. The Thing in 82. The Shining, Beetlejuice, Predator, The Lost Boys. All of this is the 80s. Sleepaway Camp. And then the beginning of the 90s, you get, Silence of the Lambs, Arachnophobia, Misery, Tremors, Seven. I mean, so many classics are from this 10-year period of horror. And we managed to avoid a lot of them because we have seen a bunch of them. I was surprised at how many, Jared, that you have seen. Because I know you're not as much of a horror head, but this must be more of an 80s thing for you.
Yeah, I think it definitely skews more towards the 80 aspect of it. And also it's like the difference in scares from back then versus now is it's quite different. Again, back then it feels, or watching movies that are older, it's just kind of like, not gimmicky, but it's like, okay, I see what you're doing here, but I've seen this way scarier and way more effective, I guess.
The Halloween Effect, even though that one's from the 70s. But yeah, these are, and so having seen a lot of the classics between the three of us, right, there were a lot of, I'm going to say lesser known horror movies from this time that none of us had seen. So a lot of people know about American Werewolf in London. We're not going to be watching that one. The Dead Zone, that's Stephen King. Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, I've heard is excellent. But I know that one's not super popular. The Evil Dead series, we did consider Evil Dead's 1 and 2. We decided to go elsewhere on those. Those are instant classics. The Fog, which is not the Stephen King Mist, which is what I started to say. Opera is one that I didn't know about that I need to Google, but that's about some murders that happen at an opera house, which I'm very excited to watch.
I'm going to be honest. That's kind of what I did going down this list. I Googled a bunch. I was like, oh man, I've never even heard of this, but I kind of want to watch this now.
Yeah, there were a lot that were, what were some of them that jumped out to you? Do you guys have any favorites that you saw in the 80s or that you haven't seen, but we're not going to watch?
I mean, I liked I think I've seen like the original, I've definitely seen the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I've seen the Friday the 13th. I think the Halloween is 70s, I guess, but those are, I think a good like 80s slasher type movie is always fun around Halloween. I haven't really seen a whole lot though, other than kind of those classics. You guys are definitely were the experts in this category.
Yeah, I'll skew toward, if you throw in sci-fi, I'll love it. So like The Thing is, I watch that movie probably like 3 or 4 times a year. So yeah, I like that one.
What's your take on the 2010 rebootquel or prequel?
I think it's a prequel. Yeah, I think it's a prequel. It's good for its time. It does some fun, cool things, whatever. I don't know. I guess I don't understand the hate a lot of the times. If there is hate, it's just, oh, cool. They added like a little bit more to the story. You eventually find out that, it's a prequel. It basically happens like, I think like an hour before.
Yeah, it's like right before
one or something. Yeah, it's like right connected. So
yeah, that's a cool
fine.
I like both of those. The Thing that's a good pick. The Thing is, for my money, one of the best horror movies ever. And that just ticks a lot of boxes. So what movie are we actually going to watch? I bet you didn't guess it, audience. We hopefully have some drum rolls going, and we are going to be watching 1988's Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Seth is calling a shot already with a musical cue that is guaranteed to be in this movie.
That's my one pointer.
This This is a for those who haven't heard, this is kind of a horror comedy cult classic. Some would call it B horror, where I mean, I don't basically the movie or the title is the synopsis. There are killer clowns from outer space, and my guess is that some Midwest, rural community is going to have to deal with them. So, and we'll see what happens. So there are no recognizable stars in this. The director here is Steven Chiodo. I don't know if he's done a whole lot of other stuff. Let's take a look. He did a movie called Freaked and another one called Alien Xmas.
Wow. Great cinema there.
Yeah, so it does not look like Killer Clowns led to a ton more work for him. But that may be because he already made a perfect movie. We do not know. I don't recognize any of the other stars. So this is the kind of movie that I have been scrolling past on Netflix for about 15 years. Never clicked on it. You will see it on lots of horror lists of like favorites and bests of ever. It does have a 61% audience score on Tomatoes and 79 from the critics. I cannot wait to find out what the critics saw in this that the audience did not. What is your guys' background familiarity with Killer Clowns from Outer Space? Anything more than what I've seen, which is literally just the poster?
Yeah, I've seen the poster, and then I've seen bits or scenes from the video game. I guess that's it.
Little clips here and there, video game stuff, but nothing really substantial or anything that's really that I could really grasp other than seeing their crazy faces. That's about it.
So you guys are both saying video game casually, like it's a thing that I should know exists and isn't fucking insane. There's a video game for Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Tell me everything about it.
Wasn't it like a Friday the 13th style type game where it's like you're just basically trying to survive? I think
so. I think some people can play as the clowns, and then some people play as like the kids or the cast, and then it's kind of like who can escape first or who can, like, I don't know, capture them recent? Basically. I think it came out like 2 years ago.
Something like that.
Okay.
Which is so weird because it's like that movie is from the 80s, and I just, again, maybe after we watch it, I'll understand the like hold on pop culture. I just don't understand how this movie has made it this long.
That makes so much more sense because I can't imagine this was a hit at the time, just based on what I have seen and heard about it. So the idea of this being like a Sega game from '93 was really was really going to confuse the hell out of me.
I mean, it probably was.
Maybe it was. We'll have to find it. Let us know if you guys have a copy. You can send one. J-Buck has all the systems, so we'll play it over there, Killer Clowns. So let's, not a lot to go off of other than that we have Killer Clowns from Outer Space, but I have a feeling that we had some good bets here this week. I can kick us off with my one-pointer. I've been building to this bet for a while. I don't know if I'm going to make it a mainstay, but I am trying to round out the perfect version of this bet, which I am going to call, trademark pending, the 80s boobs and slur combo.
The BS combo.
The BS combo. So for 1 point, I'm going to say, and we can negotiate the number here. I'm going to say over 1.5 total, either pairs of boobs or slurs.
Ooh, can there be a combination of the two? Like,
yes, if it's one pair of boob and one slur, the bet wins.
Okay.
That's the idea.
One singular boob and one slur?
Yeah, I was going to say, what if there's just one singular boob?
Or a half slur.
Yeah. Like right at a scene change.
Those are really good questions. I immediately have answers to both. Partial slurs do not count. Single boobs do.
Okay. I'll allow it. I will allow it.
Also, to be really clear, because we do need to be really, this is important. If there happened to be two women, each with one boob out, that counts as two. That is not one pair. That's two. So the bet is about the women attached, not just the boobs themselves.
Okay.
Is that made clear?
It has to be over 1.5. You said, right?
Over 1.5. Yeah.
So if there is 0 slurs, but one woman with 3 boobs,
then I don't win.
It doesn't win.
That's only one set of boobs, and
you
since
need a
there are no
body.
slurs, we don't push over. These are the things that are important, because if we were doing The Fifth Element and we had a bet like this, we would have run into a situation. So thank you for clarifying, Seth. This is really important stuff.
Because I'm thinking of Mallrats, and there is there is a character with 3 nipples, I guess, at least. Well, we don't need to clarify nipples. We'll just count boobs.
We'll know it when we see them. Yeah. For example, the Howard the Duck would not have hit because we had only 1 pair of duck boobs, which would have counted.
Nope.
And no slurs.
Whew.
Wow.
So if you guys think 1.5 is enough, then I'll take that for 1 point.
I'll allow it. Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid bet. I hope that becomes a standard for you. Like, I want us all to have like one bet that we just are all reliable.
Yeah, this one feels pretty reliable based on the Howard the Duck. I think is the only movie that I remember watching so far in this list of 80s movies that we've gone through recently that hasn't had both of these things. So I feel pretty good about it.
It'd be like your -100 bet if you were
exactly.
Yeah.
It would not pay much.
Yeah.
It would not pay much at all. Where did you guys go with this 1-pointer? How about you, Jared?
For my 1-pointer, I had a few written out, and I'm like, I don't know which one. And I think I'm just gonna go with this simple, quote, simple one. But I think someone at some point will be referred to as Bozo.
Ooh, this is good.
I like that.
Yep. Tell me if you're thinking this. This sounds like something the final girl's going to yell before she takes a swing at one of them.
That's kind of what I wrote down, is like almost an insult or like a catchphrase, like "Get out of my way, bozo," or something like that.
Get out of our planet, bozo.
Yep, boom, right there. I hope it's exactly that.
I cannot wait for this. I'm going to stand up when it happens.
Yeah, Howard, we didn't really get to celebrate much. All of our bets were bust.
Maybe that's why we didn't like that movie. That's got to be it.
Exactly. That's the sole reason.
The only reason.
All right. Well, Chef, you've been on a streak of 1-pointers. I don't think you've missed yours in quite some time. What do you got this week?
My 1-pointer this week is a killer clown will use a pie to kill someone.
Wow.
That is a good bet. Man. I didn't think of clown accessories.
As a pie lover, I'm going to be real sad.
All of my bets are accessory based.
I'm curious. Okay, so like in your mind, do you think that they're going to explode or what? Like, how's this pie going to interact with them? Again, this isn't part of the bet, but I'm just curious.
No, it's good point. It could explode. It could like be acid where it like melts.
Oh, it just goes right through them.
Yeah. Could suffocate.
Or maybe they could just hit him so hard with the pie that it busts
head
him.
comes off. What if like the pie goes on the face and they try and pull it off and it like rips their skin off and it's like the skull?
Ooh, sticky pie.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh yeah.
Anything like that.
I'll tell you what, if this ends up being like Howard the Duck, where we think there's going to be a lot of clown stuff and there ends up not being clown stuff, I'm going to be livid.
Yeah, they're in it for like 5 minutes.
So especially because this bet, there's no way this bet hits if they're not into that stuff. My 3-point bet, I went around a lot of options here. I'm going to go with my 3-point bet is that we will see a dead body, specifically the dead head of a person, attached or otherwise, with a clown nose attached. As if it's some sort of calling card. So you're going to see a dead person, clown nose.
Wait, the head has to be detached, or can it still be on the person?
I was not making a prediction about whether or not the head was attached.
Okay,
but the head is really that's the only piece I care about, is that the nose,
calling card,
there's
red
a
nose
on.
Okay.
Yep. Red nose, dead body. Let's move on, Jared, to your 3-pointer.
All right. There's a lot of assumptions in this one. I am assuming these clowns, clowns just in general are associated with carnivals or circuses. So I think that there's going to be some sort of like circus type setting, carnival type setting. So there will be over 2 kind of like foods that would be served at like a carnival or a circus, like popcorn, soda, corn dog, something like that.
Over two carny foods.
Yes.
We're talking popcorn, corn dogs, ice cream, snow cones, funnel cakes.
Yep.
Hot dogs,
Oh
probably.
yeah.
Slice of
Ooh,
pizza,
yeah.
maybe. Basically, if it's at the carnival, it's carnival food.
Yep. At least
I like
I
it.
like this. It's going to make me hungry when we watch it.
hopefully.
I think this is okay for 3, Seth, because I don't think the food counting is going to be the issue. I think calling the shot of there being a
Carnival.
theme
Mhm.
is more of the thing, and that feels worth 3.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, J-Buck, you're in for 3 on over 2.5 carny foods
Yeah.
in Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Chef, take your 3-point shot.
My 3-pointer is that kind of keeping on theme with props and clown related things. Someone will be run over by a clown car filled with killer clowns.
Oh man. Oh god, I hope this happens.
I love that it's a full car. That's
They're all going to pile out.
I was gonna say, how many have to pile out? More than one?
I'd say at least like more than. I don't know if we need to qualify it, but
We just need to know that they're in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we'll know the clown car based on, it's like porn. We'll know it when we see it.
Yeah.
But if I was actually going to define it, I would say if there's more than the driver and the passenger, then there's a clown car. But I don't think we actually have to draw that line.
I'd agree with
I love this. So, I mean, I'm seeing the scene come together where we're at the carnival enjoying a variety of foods. And here comes a clown car just plowing through like it's a right winger at a protest. But it's gonna be a pretty harrowing scene.
Goodness.
I don't know. All right. Moving on quickly from that, we go to 5 points. I feel good about my 5-pointer, but it is pretty specific. I think that I do think, and you might have noticed this when I was talking about the clown calling card with the nose before. I think we're gonna have some braggadocious clown murderers here. I think they're gonna want to like really pump themselves up and really throw it in your face that they just killed somebody. So I think we are gonna see at least one killer clown juggling severed body parts.
Ooh, interesting.
Hands, feet, heads, doesn't matter. But there's going to be, something's going to have gotten cut off a person, and one of these dickhead clowns is going to be juggling it. That's my bet for 5.
I don't see any problems with that.
I like it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Is it just one clown? Or is it multiple clowns?
Oh, like a tandem juggle?
I mean, if more than one of them are doing it, then I think it's definitely worth 5 then. But no, I just mean one, any version of them juggling parts. The way I think it will happen is like outside someone's window. They'll look and see them out in front lawn doing it. But I don't know. I have no clue. Jared, what say you for 5?
All right, so this one is kind of similar to your BS one, but going a little bit further. And this is like, I don't know, I feel like this is a stereotypical scene in a lot of like quote raunchy 80s movies. But there will be a scene where a woman is being seductive in some manner with like what she thinks is her man, but then you find out, or she finds out, that it's actually a clown. So she's being like kissing, or there's a back rub, or she's getting undressed. She's like, "Oh, honey, stop that!" And then she turns around or notices, or the lights come on, and it's a clown.
This is really good. Shit. Yep. This is an excellent bet, and it is going to happen. Yep. They've done this in like Friday the 13th once or twice.
Yeah, I think Revenge of the Nerds, Friday the 13th, like it just seems like a scene that's so like, okay, we're doing this one.
Yeah, women were not thought of highly in the 80s is one of the things we're learning. But there's going to be some pretty lucky clowns, so we'll see what we think of that. I wish I'd thought of this. That's pretty good. Oh man. All right, Chef, you got to round us out.
All right. This one's pretty specific. So I'm kind of calling my shot here, but I think it's going to happen. So I guess this is all based on the premise of my thought that because they're killer clowns from outer space, they got to come from outer space in something. I think their spaceship is a circus tent. And I think they will be defeated at the end when it explodes. Either it's on the ground and explodes, or it's in the air as they're trying to escape because like the people are getting them. It explodes.
So the rocket ship has to be a tent that then therefore explodes.
I love this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would give you 6.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
I love the I don't know. I don't know if it's the bet itself or just the way that you said they will be defeated when when the tent explodes. This is great. I'm gonna have popcorn throwing up in the air. I'm gonna be slinging pop all over my living room. If this is how this movie ends, this is gonna be my favorite movie of the year.
Again, in my mind, I picture like they're trying to fly away, and then like there's some sort of explosive or something stupid on the ship. Yeah, even that. And that's so then then that explodes midair. But it could also be on the ground still too.
This is, for the second week in a row, and I thought this about Howard. I stand by that. I think we could write Howard up to like 40. I think we could write it up to like 40% in tomatoes from where it is now. I don't know that we're going to improve upon Killer Clowns, but we could write some Killer Clowns. That would be very hilarious. And so I don't know who owns the rights to this, but watch out. A movie watching. Well, shit. We just have The Backrooms is about to come out next week. That's a YouTube guy. So I guess we should probably make a film before he made a film, actually. But anyway, I'm excited for Backrooms, but not as excited as I am for Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I want to know what some of your guys' backup bets were. So I had 2 that I don't think will surprise anyone. I wonder if you have these. One of my backups, which probably would have been a 1-pointer, was that we would have acid from a flower on the clown.
I thought about that one at one point.
You did? Yeah. And then my other one was a little simplistic. Was that someone would die by getting their head stomped in, and you would see the visual of a clown shoe stomping in someone's head.
Oh man. Okay.
Giant clown shoe.
Yeah. A couple of mine, I had something, like you said with the flower or the acid. Mine was more of like a horn that he just honks and it, I don't know, shoots like air or something, blows someone away. The other one is someone getting their head smashed in with one of those like giant mallets, and then they hit the thing and it goes up and hits like the ding, 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 like the bell, something like that. Yeah.
Someone's going to get the Shao Kahn treatment. Yeah, that's going to be
fun. Yeah. Jeez.
And then I had some that were kind of like similar to like the clown nose thing when you're talking about a clown dying. I had like over under like a certain amount of clowns like that they actually kill, like real clowns,
like people clowns.
Yeah. And then I had kind of along the lines of the circus tent thing with their spaceship that they would trap people inside of a circus tent. And then I had like that there'll be a mirror maze type scene with clowns.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's a good one.
I hope they do that. It did it well, but that wasn't very funny in it. Which we're being told that this is funny. I'm interested to find out if it's intentionally funny or if it's one of those so bad it's funnies. I think we'll know pretty quickly. But we shall see. Find a way to watch this if you can, because I would love to be a part of like a group of people that watched Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah.
This is on Prime, Amazon Prime, it looks like. You can also rent this on all the major platforms, it looks like. So looks like it might be free on YouTube, which is confusing to me, but that's what this Google is telling me.
Works for me.
So yeah, find Killer Clowns from Outer Space, watch that. Come on back next week for our review and to see which one of these crazy bets hit. If they all hit, we're gonna have an insane movie. We're gonna have at least 2 boobs and slurs. We're gonna have someone be called Bozo. Someone's gonna get killed with a pie. A dead person's gonna have a clown nose on. There's gonna be some carnival foods. Someone's gonna get plowed over by a clown car full of clowns. We're gonna see some clowns juggling body parts. We're gonna see some woman seducing a clown, and we're going to see an exploding circus tent at the end of the movie. This thing is going to be a fucking classic. Come on back next week to see if we were right about all those things. Before we let you go for the week, going to let you know what we have been watching. I'll go first with this one because I can be quick about it, guys. I got to the theater and saw the new horror movie Passenger. And this was, I believe Neon put this out. Passenger, we've been talking about kind of this hot streak that we've been on for horror.
Mhm.
I will say that this one doesn't continue the upward trend necessarily. But what I will say about Passenger is it stands up to the year, right? Like if the year was always going to have a 3 in it, Passenger is a solid 3 for this year compared to the greatness that we've seen, which is a long way around me saying this movie's not great, guys.
So basically the trailer had all the sauce in it.
You know, we were talking offline not that long ago about how it's really cool to see some of these YouTube ideas jumping to the big screen. This is a big screen thing that would have worked better as a YouTube short.
Okay.
The idea here is pretty thin, and they stretched it, and they combined the idea of there being like a highway haunting with some van lifers, and there's some interesting stuff that goes on here. But the script is like really flat. There's not much to it. It follows all the obvious horror tropes. There's a couple good scares, but you know, all the exposition comes out of nowhere. It's very like in the genre of a mediocre horror movie goes Passenger. A couple good scares though. I had some fun, but I can't recommend it to a bunch of people, especially when Obsession is still in theaters and Backrooms is coming out this week. So, you know, Passenger is fine, but Seth, you definitely can't see it. It only does jump scares are the only thing that works in this movie. I'm telling you.
Well, I'm glad
the trailer that I know that Jared, you have seen is
I've seen it too.
The best scene in the movie.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm glad that you finally have kind of review one that is not requiring me to at least watch it at home. I'm gonna have a bad stretch of movies here coming up if I got to add another one to that list.
Yeah, a bunch of frights.
Yeah, you can save yourself 90 minutes with Passenger, you know. Now, people who are like me and love seeing everything, you know, there's going to be stuff to like here for sure. But hard for me to push non-horror fans in this one's direction. Especially with the competition this week. So the next one we'll talk about here, this is Boots Riley and his new one, I Love Boosters. We have Keke Palmer starring. First thing I want to say about this movie, can we get more Keke Palmer in major movies? What the hell? She's great. She's
fantastic.
Oh my gosh. She's funny. She's down for all. You can't be in a Boots Riley movie and not be down for some shit. And I don't know. I liked the whole cast here. Lakeith Stanfield has a great role. There's Demi Moore is really cool in here. This is just a really creatively made. If you know Boots Riley from Sorry to Bother You, a lot of the same elements are here. It's kind of think PC, but there's a lot of goofiness and a lot of really quirky stuff. And they used a lot of interesting kind of filmmaking techniques and effects and things, which I liked. So I was a big fan of Boots and what he put together here. Jared, I know you got out to I Love Boosters. You just saw this today. You said, what did you think?
Yeah. Literally like an hour before recording this, I just got out of the theater. And in my like quick review, I was like, this is the most Dr. Seuss ass movie I've ever seen because the colors are very bright and pastel and whatnot. It's very eccentric in its characters and its environment and set design. The gadgets are like, again, very Seussian in what they do, how they're shaped. And like this movie every now and then will be like, take this huge leap, hold on to my hand, I have you, and just accept what I'm about to throw at you. And it is crazy what he doesn't even ease you in. It's just like, here it is on screen, accept it, we're moving on. And I looked up Boots Riley because I was like, how many more other movies has he done? But it's just basically been Sorry to Bother You and this one. I think he's done some side projects here or there. And I'm like, dude, this guy is 2 for 2. every time I see his name now, I will be going to see these movies because Cody, like you're saying, like the different kind of like film techniques, he does a lot of stuff with stop motion. There's a lot of
Yep.
miniatures in this. It's
Love the
just,
minis.
it's weird. It's wacky. And it's like, there's creativity in almost every scene. And I just don't think we're getting weird movies like this as much as we should be getting.
No, not nearly. This is the thing. We were having a conversation earlier, and I said, "Remind me, I need to say this on the show." The creativity that like a Boots Riley shows makes it so annoying that everything is CG that doesn't need to be CG. Like, just do creatively a miniature. And I knew it was a miniature. You knew it was a miniature. Didn't ruin the experience for me because I understand that it's a movie, guys. I don't need it to be in 8 megapixel. Or not 8 megapixel. God, that's like a 2008 fucking
Nokia phone. Yeah. Hey, film this on my Game Boy Color.
But like, we understand that it's a movie, and Boots, if you forget that you're in a movie, Boots Riley's going to remind you every 4 or 5 minutes, and he will catch your ass off guard if you forget that you're in a movie and not watching something real.
We haven't mentioned it yet, but the soundtrack of this, the musical
my God,
score, is so goofy, wacky. Like, again, very like, it just feels like someone's walking like a bunch of weird random horns and like a
Slips
recorder.
and crashes.
Like, it is so weird.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting story. And there's a fun metaphor under here, you know, just like Sorry to Bother You, which takes some crazy turns and shit. There's a point that it's trying to make that's interesting to kind of think and talk about. And that exists here as well. Yeah, so I thought the cast was great. Will Poulter is the last one I want to mention. He was really cool in his role. But yeah, this is a fun one. If you were already gonna go see this, you know, we're not changing your mind. If you have not seen Sorry to Bother You, go into this with your mind open and expecting the unexpected. If you liked Sorry to Bother You, go to this quickly. That's what I have to say. So I Love Boosters in theaters now. It's a big weekend. Memorial Day weekend, I guess we're coming off. So the expectations, a lot of people are going to the theaters. So if they weren't seeing Passenger or I Love Boosters, they were probably at the Mandalorian and Grogu, which I caught yesterday in IMAX 3D, which was sick. I want to know what you guys thought of Mandalorian and Grogu, because it's easy for me to get sucked into the Star Wars and start too high. Chef, where did you come in on Mando and Grogu? Yeah, and you were a Mandalorian. You had watched The Mandalorian, correct?
Yeah, Mandalorian has actually been like, because I enjoy Star Wars, but I'm not like the I think I'm definitely third out of 3 in terms of like the biggest fan of Star Wars here, and it's not particularly close on that ranking. But Mandalorian has been like my favorite thing of Star Wars, at least of the new stuff. I'm probably just in general, like I've really enjoyed, like that's one of the things I've been able to turn my brain off for and just kind of love as like a fan. And I don't really it's not even necessarily Grogu. I think I just love all the whole cast of characters and the kind of just like the father-son type story, that whatever they're going, you know, like that type of story, and all the little cameos and and the music. I've always loved the music for it. And so the movie, I was actually really excited for the movie going in, because I just have missed the show. It's been a while since it's been on. And so for missing the show, I got exactly what I wanted.
There you go.
Getting more of it. The movie itself, I would say, like the story is very like almost pointless, truthfully. It didn't really do anything to further move the story forward in terms of like what we've seen in the show so far. It just kind of happened. But it was fun. I had a great time. I enjoyed it. The effects were cool. Even though some of the CG was a little like weird, I think seeing it in 3D actually helped that, because I think like it gives it like what the
depth,
the 3D,
almost.
Yeah, it gives it depth and makes the cartoonishness of it look a little more, benefits it, I guess. And the music is just incredible. I love that score. They took
that new song.
Yeah, they took the Mando. I was listening to the score today at work. The they took the original Mando score and like ran it through a bunch of different filters. Not the synth one especially was like kind of the most noticeable, but they did it for a few different ones. There's even like a Cantina like song that took the Mando score and ran it through that. It's early on in the movie. But yeah, that Ludwig Göransson, I think, is
Yep.
That guy,
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
That guy is becoming now. Yes, it's going to be easy because he's only going to get booked for shit that is huge. But he is now going to be the primary reason I'm going to stuff.
Yeah.
Like if I see he's done a movie, I'm going. Like there were multiple times in this movie, and I don't always notice score, but there's multiple times in this movie where my friend and I were nudging each other and going, man, Ludwig is going crazy on this a bunch of times.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah, the score is that would be where I would probably start.
Yep. Yeah, it's the best part of the movie, I think, by far. Yeah, even I mean, without going into spoilers, there's just even little things of like a lot of the show and in general has to deal with the Mandalorian and his helmet and his heritage and all this stuff. And there's just like there's a scene involving the helmet that they kind of like, okay, it just felt like you knew where it was gonna go.
You get it. Yeah, move on.
And it felt just again pointless. Like the only reason it existed was just to show Pedro Pascal's face. And I don't know. The whole thing just felt the story felt very just off and disjointed to me. Yeah. But the movie itself, all of the other parts were awesome. The plot was very thin.
Another kind of we said this about the Mario movie. This felt very for the TikTok generation a little bit, didn't it? Like I was watching 6 minutes at a time instead of watching a whole movie. Like you could have put on any 6 minutes of this movie are awesome. But when you stack it all together, it doesn't say a whole lot. I would have expected more stakes. I don't think I needed galactic stakes, but something that warranted jumping from the show, which had Luke Skywalker in it, to the movie. So something they couldn't have done in the show had to happen in the movie. I think you saw the budget here for sure. The action scenes went up a notch. I thought there was more big action for sure. So I could see that they got more, but that's all I thought was like, oh yeah, they got a bigger budget to do a few more episodes. That seemed like the gist of your review when I saw it online earlier, Jared.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, like you're saying, the story is just whatever. It's basically an extended episode. It felt like a 3-episode arc. And sure, whatever. If that's what Mando and Grogu is just side mission of the week or whatever, great. If they're kicking ass, I mean, that's like you guys are saying, that's the stuff that stood out to me was just like the action, I guess. I mean, we saw some crazy stuff in the show. The one interesting thing is the two people I went with did not watch the show at all. So I asked them after the movie, I was like, did you understand? Was there anything that you didn't fully understand? And surprisingly, Seth, you kind of touched on it. They're like, what was the deal with the helmet? Like, can he not take his helmet off? And then I kind of explained, like, there's all this religion to it and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, well, why'd it go so fast? I'm like, basically that thing already happened in the show like a season and a half ago, so it's pointless.
That's what I was thinking too. Of like, didn't they already do? And didn't he like end up not caring about the helmet in the end? Like that was
he basically was like, I'm not gonna be this. Like I'm gonna be a Mando, but I'm not gonna go into the whole religion essentially.
Yeah,
but he did go get cleansed in the waters, and there was a whole part of the season 3 about that.
Right.
So now he's got to go back.
But that was the thing. I was like, okay, we already did this, and it didn't. It ended up not mattering. So I'm like, okay.
I will say another thing, and all three of us had this bugaboo was Star Wars characters. They have weird voices, different languages. About halfway through, they're like, let's just have them speak English. We don't need these Hutts to be speaking Huttese. They can speak English now. And I'm like, you didn't commit to the bit.
That was now I'm not the type of like insane Star Wars Online fan who says this kind of thing, but that was borderline offensive to me. They just mushed him right in. I think they even did the thing where he starts talking in Huttese and then you hear it change over as if you understand Huttese, but I don't understand Huttese. And this makes me think they're going to start doing that with fucking Wookiees now. And if they do that, people are going to riot. But I didn't want to understand the Hutts. I didn't want to know that guy sounded like every 24-year-old white guy I've ever met.
Yeah.
It's Jeremy Allen White, man.
It was one thing to have to watch him roll around and move and stuff, which was a little much for me. but the talking was over. That was yeah. I had to avert my eyes a few times.
I just can't wait for the first Star Wars movie where he's like, "Let's go get some coffee."
Oh my God, these fucking. Well, I guess it's mixed. We sound more mixed than I think. I think we all enjoyed. This was a good time at the movies. Yeah, everybody liked it. It just doesn't have as much. It's a little cotton candy to it, maybe.
And I
not
like
substance as you might hope from a Star Wars.
Right, and like I would have been totally fine watching this at home if it would have been a new season or whatever. That being said, selfishly, it was fun to watch The Mandalorian in the theater too, because like that again, that show kind of always served a little bit of that in itself of like kind of action pieces. But like I think the movie did have more action, had better action to it. It just wasn't like for a movie based off of a show, the only characters that were in the show were Mando and Grogu. And then did his space
Weaver.
I guess some of the rebels.
But there was no like some of the main characters of the show were like Amy Sedaris' character.
Yeah.
Carl Weathers is dead, so never mind.
Is he actually?
I think he is.
Yeah, you guys killed him on one of your podcasts.
No, that was Billy D.
Oh, damn.
You feel like they could have gotten Bill Burr.
Yeah, he's another one. Obviously, like, oh God, what's her name? They had the whole thing with the Darksaber and all that stuff, but
Ahsoka?
No. Well, but also the
Katie Seagal? Is that her name?
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. No, Bonnie Somerville. Katie Sackhoff. There we go. Yeah, that's
there you
go. So there was a lot of that stuff. Like there was a lot of characters they had coming out of the show, like recurring characters, and none of them showed up, barely.
It would have been really cool to see them round up that whole bunch for some big, to like Magnificent Seven, some town or something like that. Yeah, I would have really dug something like that.
Like even the spaceship was different in this. Like he didn't have his normal spaceship, and that was part of the plot. But like they basically just took everything out of the show other than the Mandalorian and Grogu. Like he didn't have many of the same weapons at all. Like it was just very.
It really feels like it was like this is for people who didn't watch the show, but but are aware of Baby Yoda and want to see him on screen.
And everyone loves Pedro Pascal, so
yeah,
there you go.
Yep.
I mean, that actually feels pretty fair.
And the music, they're like, we're definitely keeping the music.
Oh yeah, and giving you a badass synth one too.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, my Spotify Wrapped is going to say I listened to the Mandalorian and Grogu soundtrack for 16 hours.
100 times.
So stupid. Yeah, no, this is in 5 years. I am going to remember this soundtrack. I'm not sure I'm going to remember this movie.
Right.
But I still liked it. If you liked the Mario movie, I bet you're going to like Mandalorian and Grogu.
Even more on top of that, I bet like 4 years from now, if we're talking about Mandalorian, we will probably confuse the movie for a 3-episode arc in one of the seasons of the show.
Probably.
It's a good point. When I'm 80 and you ask me what the finale was of I'm gonna say it was Luke Skywalker. I'm telling you. Oh man. Well, not only did we get the bookend on Mandalorian, the Mandalorian series. Well, we think it's. I guess maybe I shouldn't say if it's a bookend, but we probably will get more Mando and Grogu if this does good money. But we had a good addition to the Mando series. We are going to go and talk some TV before we wrap this week's episode, because we had the end of an era with the wrap of The Boys that had its season finale this last week. The three of us are all big fans of The Boys and have been watching it since it debuted a handful of years ago. And this was, I think, a much anticipated finale. We've known for a long time where this is going, to a final showdown, of course, with Homelander. And so the finale, I would say, did not disappoint. We'll try to keep it spoiler free, at least for a little while. Maybe we can do a little unspoilered, but I think my thought on this was after season 5 that meandered a little more than I thought it needed to. This was pretty focused as a finale, and I felt pretty satisfied coming away from this. It's hard to land a finale, but I felt like I had eaten enough of the series and my belly was full, and this was good enough for me at the end. I don't think they had a lot of opportunity to really blow my mind here, but I thought they landed the jet for sure. Where were you guys on season 5 overall, and then on the finale?
I think the first half of season 5 just feels like it kind of meandered a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically talking about the finale, it was the most straightforward, this makes sense, reasonable ending to the show. I don't know, like, I saw a bunch of people complaining that it was bad. I think IMBD, like the reviews or something, are giving it like really bad reviews.
Really?
And I think it's because people like wanted this big surprise spectacle thing, and it's like, this was the most logical end to the series. Like, it makes sense. I don't know what you wanted. I thought it would ended fine. It was good.
It's hard to put an ending on a show that, and this is the problem that Lost had, like a lot of the shows have, when so much of the show and so much of the draw to the show is the shock value of it. There was no opportunity for them to shock you here. So my guess is that that's why people maybe came away feeling disappointed, is if you came to be like, oh fuck, then I don't think you got that, because they brought you to the end of the path they've been walking you to this whole time.
Mhm.
Where were you at on that, Chef?
I think I guess to answer the first question, like I agree with both of you. I think it was satisfying, I think, in terms of the story they were telling. And I think it made sense. The main problem I had with the season, though, is it was very blatantly a, hey, come watch Vought Rising in 2027.
Yeah.
We did get a lot of that. Mm-hmm.
So much of it. So many lines of like, hey, this happened in 1932 and I haven't forgiven you yet. Well, clearly
I love that Nazi woman.
Yeah. Even so far as they start the season with Soldier Boy frozen, and to ultimately end up with him now frozen again. And you clearly know that that's going to end up at Vought Rising is going to be a back and forth story of him now being unfrozen again. And they're probably interviewing or something like that. To me, it seemed like they spent way too much time trying to continue this boys universe while trying to end it at the same time. Mm-hmm. That's what felt off about the whole season to me. The other stuff with the Gen V stuff too, like they set that 2 seasons of that show up for them to be very important in what's going on with the boys, to ultimately just be a getaway driver for these people. Like that stuff, it all just felt felt
a little Kang the Conqueror with the Gen V stuff.
Yeah.
Real pumped. And
I was going to say it felt more like DC before James Gunn took it over, is what it felt like. It felt like all to me.
Yeah.
I mean, kinda, yeah. Like you're saying, it is interesting because when you do look at that, and I understand Gen V season 2, there was a bunch of mishaps with, that one guy unfortunately passing and everything. I'm wondering if just like the steam of that and the people there fell through, and they were like, okay, we're going to switch this up. But like you're saying, it was very much set up for Marie to somehow do something with her blood powers.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, nah.
They killed off a major, or didn't kill off, but had a major boys character in the Blood Woman, who she had the blood powers originally. Newman was that? Yeah. She was a major character in the boys and was a major character in Gen V. That was like the connective tissue there, and that all kind of fell through. Yeah, I don't know. That's where it all kind of felt to me of just like it didn't. They didn't know it. They've had to start to defend themselves in like interviews and stuff. And that's making them sound worse of some of their answers. It's like, you guys clearly were either forced to or just did to continue this whole thing, just planted shit in there and didn't really know what you were doing with some of it until you got there. I think the mainline story of Homelander, they knew what they were doing there and had a plan for that. I think all the other stuff, they really just made it unnecessary and it all felt super forced.
The edit where they strip all that out and keep it to just the Homelander arc probably rips pretty fucking hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they kept it tight on his story this year. You know, I mean, it got wild, but not hard to understand. You know, I mean, you always knew where it was going. I think the reason why I feel very satisfied, I think The Boys is one of those shows. This is something I've always wanted to. I want to tell everybody, so I'm glad that this is my chance to say it to whoever listens to this. I think someone's opinion about The Boys is a litmus test for what type of person they are in a real way in our current environment. And I think you can ask two different people who love The Boys why they love The Boys. You can get two different answers, and I can tell you who voted for what. And I was at a wedding this last weekend, for example, and I saw a guy and I was like, I bet that guy loves Homelander. and you can do that with the show. And I think from that and kind of the miracle and the way he puts it, it's kind of lucky the way they've been able to accidentally get stuff close to real. But between what they did so well there and just bringing every character in like a actual way, they brought every character over an arc to a new realization about themselves. You can go down the line and you can name them. And I thought they were all pretty satisfying, especially with Butchers and Huey, especially, which has always been the main thing. And so I think the moral of the story felt very complete. And that's where I was especially satisfied. Even if the action didn't shock me at the end, that's not what I was there for. You know, I was there to see, you know, who learned what and who's going to make different decisions this time and that type of stuff, which I think was always the compelling part to someone like me, someone who just wanted to see a bigger explosion this time. Okay, fine. Fuck you. Be disappointed.
Well, that's the creators even kind of talked about it in some of the interviews leading up to this season of like, a lot of people were like, are we ever going to get that big fight, you know, between Homelander and so-and-so? And they're like, no, that's not the point. One, that would cost too much money, but two, that the point of this has never been about the big fight action set pieces. It's been about the story and the you know, essentially metaphors that they're talking about. So
I mean, seeing them, like you're saying, Cody, where, you know, the arc of all of the characters, but just seeing the boys essentially being able to just settle back into, quote, real life, who they were before this, the last like 7-8 years that we were with. And especially with the Billy Joel Piano Man playing, like I got a little teary-eyed. I was just like, oh man, I'm gonna miss these like we had a good run with these characters. This was a good time with them, and it's just nice to see them kind of go walk off into the sunset in, you know, various ways that essentially bring them happiness because they've been through the shit.
The like close the back cover of the book moments of this are very satisfying, I would say. So let us know what you thought of The Boys down in the comments. And you can also go see The Mandalorian and Grogu, I Love Boosters, and Passenger, all in theaters now. Come back next week to see what we thought of Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And we're going to see who wins the betting game to pick our next topic. That and more on next week's show. So for Jared Buckendahl and Seth Ott, I've been Cody Michael, and we'll see you next time.